special thing happening this week that I want to tell you about. And then I'm going to film little snippets as I prepare for it, and then when I'm at the thing, and then I will make either a 2-part vlog with everything, or I doubt it'll be one part. But I may even just sort of split up depending on how much footage I get, I may split up the story into sections. So what is happening this week is that I have been invited to participate in a culinary competition this weekend. It's called a Golden Ticket Competition in Texas, and the prize for the competition is a golden ticket to the 2023 World Culinary Championships, which is a pretty darn huge deal. Usually there's like 400 plus contestants in the various, probably more than that. I don't remember if there's 400 plus pastry contestants or if it's 400 plus contestants total, but it's a huge competition. And so it's a major honor to have the opportunity to even try to get the golden ticket. And so the theme of the golden ticket competition, which is in 2 days, today's Friday, it's on a Sunday. The theme is cinnamon. So today I will be going to the local farmers market to pick up my groceries and stuff to make the freshest, best product possible. Tonight I will be prepping the fruit, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be done in an industrial kitchen, which makes sense. So tomorrow I will be in the kitchen making my dough from scratch and assembling and baking and preparing everything. So it's going to be a long, fun weekend, and then I'm going to be super pooped next week. And I don't know how many videos I'll be getting out, because I'll probably be playing a lot of catch up too, because usually on the weekends I'm not baking, I'm getting the house caught up. So it'll be kind of like but I may even, if I have any followers by then, I may even go live from the contest. If there's any chance someone will be watching it. But yeah, so I'm really, really excited. I will be making, you get not a sneak peek, because I probably won't post this till well after the contest, so I can go ahead and tell you. I will be making, there's a pastry called a Queen Emel. It's spelled Kouign, Ammon, and it is French. I thought that it was German when I first saw the words written out in a recipe, because I thought it was pronounced Kuhnamen, but it's Queen Emel. And so what it is essentially, they say that it's basically like a yeast bread meets a croissant. So it's a little bit more savory than a croissant, and a little bit more hearty, a few less layers, but it is a laminated dough, but it's a laminated yeast dough. So it's just got an interesting sort of characteristic to it. It's incredibly decadent, and normally it's made more like a palmier cookie or a spanakopita. Not a spanakopita. What's the other one called? The Mediterranean one with the phyllo, where there's sugar between the layers. Because when you're laminating a Queen Emel, you are putting sugar between the layers as well as rolling the butter into it. So it ends up having like a lot more sweetness than a croissant, because there's sugar inside. There's a little bit of a crunch. There's a lot of caramel flavor. And so I will be doing a Queen Emel dough, but I will be using cinnamon sugar. So it'll be both cinnamon and sugar between all of the flaky layers. And then normally Queen Emel is made in a muffin tin, and it's presented as its own independent dessert. It's more of a rustic sort of homey. It's still beautiful because it's flaky and the corners sort of pop up, and so it's like a little bit spiky. but it's considered more of like a rustic, delicious dessert that's mostly for the flavor and less for the presentation. But I am going to be using a Queen Emel dough, and then I am going to be filling it with a spiced peach filling, a very heavily spiced peach filling, so it'll actually be a little bit spicy. So there will be cinnamon and then a little bit more of other things, a proprietary blend of spices, I should say. And then I will be adding a heavy whipping cream that is infused with vanilla bean. I will be whipping it up on site at the contest and putting that fresh on top. So there will be just a vanilla bean infused whipped cream that's not terribly sweet. And I will be making a spiced pecan with the same proprietary blend of spices that's in the peaches. I will be making a spiced candied pecan, and that will be the garnish on top. So that is my plan for my contest entry. I am still debating, and I will know by tonight, whether I want to do actual Queen Emel, like individual servings, because that's how it's traditionally served. Because I need 25 servings for the judges. Cutting up a pie, it's hard not to impact their expectation of presentation. If the pie is not like flawless, and 25 flawless pieces of pie is pretty difficult to achieve. So I'm still debating, because I do think ultimately that it would be more consistent to do a larger Queen Emel crust pie, basically, as opposed to making Queen Emel and then stuffing it with the peach. But ultimately, I also am a little afraid that my concept of it being more of a peach stuffed Queen Emel will be lost in translation. If it looks like a pie, their expectation might be for pie dough. And I think that they'd still be pleasantly surprised by the Queen Emel, but I'm nervous about that. From what I understand, most of the judges are amateurs, and that's part of why they're doing the golden ticket. They're actually the judges being trained for the 2022 World Culinary Championships. And so they aren't like necessarily all food critics and stuff like that. They wouldn't necessarily know what a Queen Emel is, which might be a benefit to me and might not. So anyway, I'm kind of processing my nerves with you, because I'm once I get in the cooking zone, I get pretty focused, and so I haven't really talked about it much with anyone else. But so that is my big exciting news. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I think I may just do this as one separate thing, just to let you know what to expect in the coming videos. But the next videos that you see will be me getting ready for the competition and baking, and depending on how much footage I get, I may put it all in one video and have some footage from the competition. But most likely it'll be a two-part series, which will be really exciting. So wish me luck retroactively, because I'll be posting this after. And yeah, and it's cool too, because this dessert concept that I've come up with as my contest entry will look really, really, really good for this mystery job that I've been alluding to for a few weeks. Especially if I won. I'm just kind of honored to be nominated. I'm just excited to get to participate in this contest. I'm trying not to get too excited about the potential to like get to go to the World Culinary Championships, because that would be amazing. But I don't know how many people I'm competing against, and I don't know what their caliber is. So I could be way over my head, because I've just been privately catering for about 9 years now. So I'm 100% confident in my tastes and my knowledge. But I do worry sometimes that my skills might be rusty. However, I have tested this recipe, and I've made both kinds, the smaller one and the larger one, and they were widely received with positive feedback and accolades and everything else. And I was specifically asking for critique and criticism. So even though it was people who know me, who love me, who have a bias, I was specifically asking them to be as critical as possible so that I could fix the problems, and they loved what I made. So I do feel that I have a fighting chance in this contest, which is exciting because I haven't really gotten to be in a lot of contests, and the thought that I even like have a chance is really, really cool to me. And then the prize is kind of mind-blowing right now. I don't know what I would do if I got in. I wouldn't expect to win because the caliber, it's basically like the Culinary Olympics. And I don't consider myself at that level culinarily. I think it would be pretty arrogant and probably a little foolish as well to consider myself at the caliber of people who have been doing this non-stop professionally into their like 50s, 60s, you know. I've always thought of myself as an above average chef, but I'm not the best, if that makes sense. And I'm just not sure how it'll translate to a competition. I actually was, I got a call back to go on Cutthroat Kitchen. I really wanted to go on Cutthroat Kitchen one time. And by the time I called them back, because they called me while I was in class, and by the time I called them back, they had filled the spot. And I've always been so disappointed because I do think that's more my bag. I can improvise like nobody's business. I am a really, like, that's my strength, is improv. I can make amazing things out of unexpected things. Like chopped would also be something I could probably do pretty well. In terms of just making a beautiful and delicious dessert and presenting it, I don't know where I stand. I don't know how I would fare relative to other chefs. I know that when I worked at the Four Seasons, I was chef cook 4, like from the top, and I felt that that was a very fair place to be. So anyway, maybe I'll improve also in the next year. Or maybe, like, because part of it is that my standard is food needs to taste good first and look beautiful second. And so sometimes I will sacrifice a little bit of the presentation just for an excellence of flavor. And not every contest likes that. Most of the time they look with their eyes first. And the thing is, to me, delicious things can look delicious and not necessarily be the most beautiful. And so I just don't know if my personality vibes with a contest like that. But anyway, we will find out if I make it that far. We'll see how this goes. So please like and subscribe, and if you want to click the notifications at least for the next couple of updates, then that might behoove you as well.